Hello, my name is Kathy Creel, and I am site leader for Rachel's Vineyard Retreats in Lubbock, Texas. And I've been active in that position for about 8 years. I did my first retreat about 10 years ago, and I needed that retreat because in college, well, I'll give a background. I was in college. I had a 3.8 average. I was getting ready to graduate. I was getting ready to do what I'd always wanted to do, become a registered dietitian. I was had an internship planned, and everything seemed great, but my personal life was a mess. I had 2 broken relationships which left me anxious and just not doing very well at all, and someone suggested that I go see a counselor. So I went to see that counselor, and probably because of kind of a distant relationship with my own father, I don't know why, I've tried to figure it out over the years. He was 20 years older than me, and eventually we became lovers. And I didn't tell anybody. I was active in the church at the time, but nobody knew about this, and I eventually became pregnant. And I thought, well, this is perfect. What I've always wanted. I wanted to raise a family. I wanted to get married. I was kind of got the cart before the horse, but it's all going to be fine. And he planned an abortion. Now this was in 1972, before Roe versus Wade, but and I was at Texas Tech, but I was able to obtain an abortion in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And yeah, I went through that abortion. A lot of people can't remember the abortion, but I remember every little detail. I remember being just totally numb. I was like a robot because I couldn't tell my family, and I put all my eggs in one basket. I trusted this man, and he was my savior in a sense, and this is what he wanted, so I did it, and I felt so helpless and so out of it. Anyhow, after my abortion, I remember walking out of the abortion clinic thinking, why don't I feel better? I should feel relieved. And I was just like I had a huge hole in my heart, or a huge hole in my body, just an emptiness that I can't explain. And it's like, that was like the start of my nightmare, which I suffered with for about the next 30 years. Eventually I broke up with that man. Abortion not only kills your child, it kills your heart. And fortunately, by the grace of God, I met a very good man and married and had 3 children. But abortion was always there. I always said it was like a wall between me and all the good things in life. It was there in my every sexual act. It was there in the birth of my children, in bonding with those subsequent children, in my relationships with my parents, who I never told, friends, church. It just was there, and it kept me locked away. I tried to work it off. That's my typical way. I was going to be the perfect mom. Every time the church doors opened, I was there, but it was all out of guilt and shame that I was doing these things. And I'd gone to many counselors. I spent barrels of my husband's money trying to figure out what was wrong with me. All the depression, the anxiety, the sleepless nights. Fortunately, I didn't get into drugs or alcohol, but I was a workaholic, and I probably abused food too. Anyhow, I went to a friend, finally got into it with a spiritual director, and she fortunately was the person who started Rachel's Vineyard in Lubbock in 1999. And Cynthia, God rest her soul, she said she recognized all my symptoms. And she knew I was post-abortive, but I wouldn't admit it. And finally I did admit it. And then it took me 5 years of her bugging me to get into Rachel's Vineyard, because I didn't want to go there. It was a painful, dark place, and I didn't want to go there. But I did go, and it was the best thing I ever could have done. And I say, at that retreat, I found the forgiveness of God, but I also found the forgiveness of my child, and I was able to forgive myself. And I reclaimed my personhood, because now I was a child of God. I really felt like a child of God. And I reclaimed my womanhood, because abortion kind of ruins that. What is a woman who would kill her child? And I reclaimed my motherhood, and I became a better mother, a better person, and a better wife, a better daughter. Everything was better. And I tell my story now, and to lots of people in lots of places, because I want that for everyone, especially someone who's suffering from the pain of abortion. Whether they're male, female, grandmother, grandfather, teenager, whoever. I want that for them.
And do I understand correctly that you've brought Rachel's Vineyard Retreats to Lubbock?
To San Angelo.
To San Angelo.
I've helped.
Mm-hmm.
Betsy Copar from Fort Worth mentored the group here, but they needed me to come help hold their hand. A lot of the girls that are on the team have done retreats with me in Lubbock. And in West Texas, 200 miles is just a just a drive away, and so we really are close in that sense, and it's been my pleasure to help them get started and start a ministry here because we need it.
Mm. And it's a wonderful story to take your own pain and use that to help others.
Yes, exactly. That's what Teresa said this morning, and I totally agree with it. And I just had said that to the gal I was driving down here with today, is that God just works miracles in the way that He can take your pain and make it a gift. So
It's wonderful. Thank you so much, Kathy.